Welcome, 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 y'all. It is not
Mm.
transformation. It's not transformation Thursday. It is transformation Tuesday. How are you? How are you? I'm Dr. Triffy. Y'all already saw Heather for a little bit. She'll be back on. Yeah. I'm Dr. Triffy. I am a licensed psychologist in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm from the lovely island of Dominica in the Caribbean. Not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. We are the island with 365 rivers. Yeah, that's what you heard. 365 rivers. So I am quite active on Facebook. On Thursdays, I show up with a Transforming Trauma podcast. And other days, I show up with issues, topics, situations that are relevant to me as an individual. And they're not necessarily psychological in nature, although you can find psychological underpinnings in any situation. So, tonight, I want to have a meaningful conversation with the independent candidate for the Portsmouth constituency, which is my up my side of Dominica. And I'm going to bring her in very soon. Y'all cannot see her yet, but she's getting ready, she's prepping, and I want to have an opportunity to hear her story, what motivated her to say yes to being an independent candidate. And y'all, Portsmouth is a constituency that has been very loyal to the Labour Party in Dominica. And she's going up as an independent candidate. So I'm very curious to hear what motivated her, what are her plans, and to introduce her to many people who perhaps have just seen her picture on Facebook, but they've never met her and they want to hear more. They want to ask her questions. So hi, Kuraku. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You all, please share the live so that the folks from Portsmouth can meet their independent candidate and ask her questions, talk with her, and hear some of her thoughts and what she wants to do for the constituency. So I know it's going to be hot tonight. I'm going to add her now. I believe she's ready for us. So again, share the live, y'all. Let's talk. Okay. Et voila. Here
Hi,
she
good
is.
evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How about you?
Oh, I am doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so happy to have you here, Heather.
I
And
well.
oh man, I am feeling a lot of pride,
Thanks.
but I
Thanks.
think I'm feeling a little old too, Heather.
I know, right? Yes.
And I'm saying that, y'all, because I taught Heather in elementary school, St. John's School.
St. John's Primary, yes.
St. John's Primary. Well, welcome. And this evening, you're a complete professional. I'm so proud to see you taking this bold step. And this is my one of these. This is one of my main reasons for inviting you to
Thank
share
you.
the podcast with me. So,
And
how
I'm
about you introduce yourself to the people?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is actually I'm Magdalene Heather Vidal, but I'm affectionately known as Heather Vidal in my community. I am an event consultant and hospitality art instructor by profession. And I'm your independent candidate in this year's general election, symbol being the tree.
Hmm. Okay. Why the tree?
I did not have a choice as to which symbol that I obtained. As an independent candidate, symbols are given to you by the electoral office
Mm-hmm.
and it is distributed based on an alphabetical order. Usually there's a total of 16 symbols. From
Okay.
1 to 9 is issued to political parties and 10
Okay.
to 16 is issued to independent candidates. So as an independent candidate, it is provided to you.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
I just learned something. I just learned something here tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. You in your day-to-day work life, you say you are an event planner.
Yes, event planner, event consultant, and hospitality art instructor.
Those are beautiful words. What does that mean?
So, usually I would prefer to say that I'm an event consultant and strategist because I do more than just event planning. So I do conferences, seminars, workshops. If you have a group of persons coming in, then I would schedule and plan their time on the island, onboarding, offboarding, etc. So it's so much more than just planning an event or putting an event together. As well as I also teach hospitality art for youth development division, where I do housekeeping service and food and drink service at level one, teaching the standards of CANTA, which is the Caribbean Association of National Training Agency.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to put a little bit of my business outside to say I feel even more proud that my fiance and I chose you.
I remember, yes. I
Chose
remember because
you.
I was contacted, yes. And I
Yes.
was looking forward to doing that event. I already had all my designs and everything, yes.
Yes, 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 yes. So, yeah, your work is beautiful and we loved it. We loved
Thank
it.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. And life had other plans for us and for him,
I
but
know, yes.
yes,
But I
yes.
wish you all the best. Life continues. Who knows?
It sure does. It sure does. And I'm so happy to have you here tonight because, I am quite impressed, quite impressed. So I want to ask you, why did you choose to go up as an independent candidate? Because as I was saying earlier, like Portsmouth has been known to be solidly labor
Mhm.
for a long time. So why not UWP or why as an independent candidate?
Okay, well, let me start by saying that I believe in development.
Hmm.
I believe in progress.
Mm,
And for those persons who have known me before, they would have known that I supported the Labour Party. All right. I have
mhm,
never supported any other party. That's what I know.
mm,
Labour. When
mm.
you grow up in a house and that's all you know. I
Yes.
grew up with my mom, and I will use the favorite word. My mom was a
Yeah.
total Labour. I
Yeah.
grew up in the house of Michael Douglas, Rosie Douglas. So I
Mhm.
was surrounded by Labour.
Yeah.
But after a while, you have to start making sense out of nonsense. And I would
Mm,
prefer to say there comes a time when we all mature and
mm,
start looking at things from a different lens, from a different perspective. You know
mhm,
now you're no longer under your parent roof. Nobody's dictating anything to you. So you now have the opportunity to choose for yourself. Let me also make the statement though that I was not asked by any political party to represent them. So I'm not running on any Labour Party platform because I have heard talk that some of the independent candidates, and somebody mentioned it to me, um,
mhm,
is running as Labour rights undercover for so that the elections would appear fair. But that is not my case here.
mhm.
I'm not running as a DLP. I'm contesting as an independent candidate. Well, as we all know, UWP is not contesting the general election, so there's no way I could run as a candidate for United Workers' Party. I will,
Mm,
however, be honest to say in 2019, I decided that I wanted to run as an independent candidate after looking at so many promises that were made to my constituency as way back as 15 years. I looked at our manifesto, the Labour Party manifesto in 2015, where they
mhm.
spoke about the marina, they spoke about the international airport, they spoke about health, and they also spoke about an administrative building for Portsmouth, which would make things so much easier for us. We would have reducing the amount of times we have to go to Roseau to get certain things, such as a simple birth paper. And
Mhm.
then it was removed from the 15-year-old manifesto, placed into the 10-year-old one, placed into the 5-year-old one. And right now it's 2.5 years, and there's no sign of those things. And I think that as a community, it's time that we stand together and somebody stand for some form of progress. I do not see myself as an individual being able to feel comfortable, say that I'm voting this administration back when they're not providing or showing any form of interest within the constituency. And I
Mm,
believe that as an independent candidate, I can make a solid contribution towards the development of my community and my
mhm.
constituency by extension. I
So
was
go
approached
ahead.
just quickly. I was approached by another political party, but when they did approach me, I already said that I was contesting as an independent candidate, and I think that my chances are much better as an independent candidate. So I will remain as an independent candidate.
So what are some of your, you mentioned the marina. Oof, my heart. Okay. I'm trying to let you share your thoughts and feelings on that, but I can really relate to disappointment about waiting for promised development, like the marina, like there's at least one hotel that is sitting there, has been sitting there for many years, unfinished. Ross left us in the north. What are some of your ideas for progress in Portsmouth? What do you want to see?
Okay, boy, there's so many things I want to see happen in Portsmouth, but for sure, I would like to see the marina, because I mean, if we listen to the name Portsmouth, ports come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Portsmouth is blessed with the most beautiful harbor, in Dominica. We have a lot of scenic views, and it is also safe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at the yachts when they come into the harbor. We have Pays right there who provides them with the security that they need. So, some of the things that I would really love to see happen in my community, and as a parliamentary representative, I would put myself forward to try to see how I can get those things to happen. Is that of one, we need to see how we can create some more employment, job enhancements, as well as we need to see how we can bring back, especially shipping to our farmers. I remember many, many years ago, when this is Mike was alive, I remember that he used to have this farmers club with the
Mm,
farmers of Bonn. And these farmers, they would come together and he sourced the market in Barbados for them,
mm,
where they were able to export their products, not through the hucksters, but send it to the individual in Barbados and they would get paid. And it was working very well.
mm-hmm.
So I would use my platform. I may not be able to reach as far as Barbados, but even just in the neighboring islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique, right there, and even
Mm-hmm.
St. Martin, because we have a lot of boats going. Try to see how I could work with the persons in authority there
Mm-hmm.
and see how we could collaborate to probably even see how we could always come back together, create some club or some group of our farmers. We have a lot of passion fruits, we have a lot of yams and a lot of cucumbers. Sometimes I look at the van loads and I'm wondering where are these guys going to sell these things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the avenues that I will be looking at to create some form of collaboration between the French territories to see how we can get some of our produce out there. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just going out and talking. And sometimes being in the position as a parliamentary representative in such an office, one, you're respected more. Two, you have more power to gain the support that you need, and persons will take your word for it, and they will work with you. I've also looked at other areas for employment in terms of the regeneration of our festivities. Portsmouth was known for having some real good festivals. I remember Fet Mawe growing up, I got good scoldings from running away and going down to the Borough Square and so forth. And find ways to see, we may not be able to bring it back under the same name, but find ways to see how we can revive these festivals by working together with the community and probably maybe a necessary ministry that would be able to facilitate us in order to assist us, be it with fundings or whatever way, to get it going. That's one of the way. Revive it. And in reviving it, not just Fet Mawe Guatas. I mean, we would have to change the name for sure, but something, as close to it as possible. St. Peter's, this is a
Mm.
thing that just died. All the other communities are celebrating, and it has just died. Carnival, we can start in schools. We have so many persons that can help. We have persons like Ashton Revere, who is very good with his sensei. Maybe we could do extra curriculum classes at the schools, and then we could start teaching the young persons, and eventually, so that the tradition does not die, find ways for us to revive it. And in
Do you have
reviving those,
any ideas? Do you have any ideas about what contributed to all of these vibrant aspects of culture and life in Portsmouth? Do you have any ideas about how that just kind of petered out and died out?
I think we relied on some persons too much. That's why I think that we also have to prepare for succession planning. So even
Mm,
while some of us are doing it, we need to introduce fresh blood and train
mm,
them, teach
mm,
them the ways so that as we start getting older, I say we because I am one of them. As we start getting older, we can start, they can start taking our places, show them how we do things, how we go about. And probably it could probably be finance as well. Maybe some of the persons who funded some of these festivals and so forth. But
mm,
we need to start doing things for ourselves as a community, but
mm,
more so working together as a group and collaborating. Because Portsmouth is not just Portsmouth here. Portsmouth is also the diaspora, you know, working together to ensure that we can revive those things. Because
mm,
what is going to happen if we revive those things? Unfortunately, we have a lot of empty apartments in Picard. So if we could revive those things and bring them back, then even if it's for a weekend, we could have a little money flowing within the area. Persons can get their little apartments to rent,
mm,
along with other little things in terms of creating some form of generating the economy then within the constituency. Employment, there are two other things that I really want to focus on. One of the things that I notice is that right now we have a lot of foreigners coming into Dominica, especially from the countries such as Jamaica and St. Vincent and St. Lucia. And
mhm,
they are gaining what I would say the good parts of the construction jobs, etc. And solely, it's also because they are certified individuals.
mm,
We have a lot of skilled individuals on the island, but unfortunately, a lot of them they are not certified. And I know that there is a TVET council, which I
What
would
is
say that's the Technical Vocational Education Training Council. They're responsible for technical training,
that?
but
Okay.
like they're just there by word of mouth. They are not active. They have not received the green light from the Ministry of Education in order for them to provide such certifications, such as the
Mhm,
CVQ, which is the Caribbean Vocational Qualification. And that certificate is a very powerful certificate. It would
mhm,
allow our persons to, one, be very qualified to
mhm,
compete for some of these jobs that some of these persons are presently getting. It would place them at an advantage to get better paying jobs, even at the
yeah,
hotels and even within the construction industry that is going on right now.
mhm,
And with such a certificate, they can also travel to CARICOM and work without a work permit. So it has a power. And I would use my platform as a parliamentary representative to work with these persons to try to get as much of them certified as possible, because I was able to do so but through the St. Vincent TVET Council. So it is possible. I will definitely tell you that I have already been working with a group of persons, because we do have other persons within the Portsmouth area. Persons
mm,
like Rita Alcide in hairdressing. We
yeah.
have J.L. Honey in food preparation. We have this young lady, although she's not from the constituency, but she's not too far away. In Jubler. We also have
Mhm,
another young lady in Portsmouth who's very good in nails. So what we need to do is work with them
yeah.
and try to get them certified, because we are in dialogue with certain persons who can make it happen for us. So
Wow.
this is one of the things that I want to use this opportunity for me to do. I can do it as an individual, but as
Yeah.
a representative, there's so much more that you can do, because I can go into the house, place proposals for all these different types of things.
Yeah.
For example, we have CBI, and I think
I
a
was going
lot
to ask you about CBI in a minute. But go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
we have a lot of CBI, the CBI, from some of the funds that is being generated. We
Hmm.
can I can actually, go in there, put in proposals to see if they can finance from using some of the profits of that into training for our people, so that we can put them on a market where they can compete for better paying jobs, because that's what we want for our people.
Hmm. Woo. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Y'all keeping up with Heather Vidal? Okay, Heather, I'm going to see who we have with us tonight so far. I see Kirku, Janice, Good Night, Clement, Peto Corbett, Frank, Sakafet. Hi, Valley. What's up, cuz? Good night. Asif, Clement again, Sherifa, y'all. Okay, so question for you.
Mhm.
Why do you think our people are not certified? More of our people are not certified, or those that you were just mentioning, like
Mhm.
Rita and the lady from Dublin.
Mhm.
Why do you think they're not certified?
Rita is certified.
Okay, Rita is.
Yes,
So
yes.
some of
And
you're saying make a bigger push for more people to get
yes,
certified in.
because we have a lot of persons, they are skilled. But although they are skilled, it is difficult for them to compete. For example, Kempinski. I will piggyback on Kempinski for a little minute. If they are looking for, some of them, they are looking for skilled professionals, but certified professionals. So
Gotcha.
with a certificate, it puts you at an advantage where you
Yeah,
can compete for these jobs, rather than you are being told,
yeah,
we need to bring in other persons because you are not certified.
right.
So this is what we are looking at doing: certifying our skilled individuals. Now,
Hmm.
for those who are already skilled, I just want to make it clear that if you are already well skilled and well trained, but all you need is just that certificate. For example, look at our people, like so we have a lot of contractors. They are very good.
Right,
They
right,
are
right, right, right.
but because they do not have that certificate, or I should say that international certificate in their hand, it makes it difficult for them to bid for certain projects, especially projects where international donors and international funds are being used for such. So now, because they are already well trained, they would be certified now under what we call PLA. That's because they have the prior learning experience. And
Ah,
those of us who know
learning the
everything.
night, y'all. Pla. Okay, tell us.
Yes, so for those
Woo.
of us who are fully aware as to what it is they need, they would need to have a portfolio, and we
Right,
are versed in doing it. They need to be able to follow the occupational standard of their
right.
area. We would introduce them to the occupational standard. We would
Yeah,
tell them what it is. I'm using we because although as the PAL rep, this is not something that I would be doing alone. I
yes.
would be working along with those who I know did the training with me. So
Mm,
we know what it is that how we need to guide them and prepare them for that assessment period. And
mm,
then once we know we're bringing them to assess, we would inform them as to what it is you need to have, what it is the assessor is looking for. So,
yeah.
for example, if you're doing construction, and no
Hmm.
matter what it is you're doing, food safety, security and safety is very important. So one of the things that I would say to you is, okay, if you're just going to do a chair for your assessment, we'd be expecting you to have your goggles, your gloves, your mask, your hard shoe, your hard hat, all the necessities, so that you will not be deemed not yet competent.
Yes, yes.
So yes, these are some of the things that we would be looking at. And you can be certified from between level 1 to level 5. Level 5
Wow,
being equivalent to that of your master's.
wow. So all of these opportunities you're saying are available right now if people know how and what to do and and they have the support. What is missing right now in the system?
What is missing is for the Ministry of Education to give the green light to the TVET Council so that they can go ahead and approve such certification.
Why do
So
you think they haven't? Why do you think they haven't?
um I don't know if I really want to say it's because they do not want to see our persons advance.
Mm,
I do not want to be in the wrong for saying that, but
mm,
I'm really hoping that they have a justification for that. And this is something that I've been going around in circles, you know, and I'm really hoping that I can use my office to put some pressure
mm.
on the government. I know somebody might be saying, oh, just you alone as an independent candidate. But there are different ways that you can go about doing certain things. You know, I can use the house to do that, you know, to put in requests, to put in proposals, to give suggestion and to ask for certain things, you know,
Mm.
and put certain things in writing, asking what is the delay, you know, why are we held back? But there are other ways that I can go about and channel it. You
Yeah,
know, if they don't want to do it here, then I will collaborate. If it means I have to collaborate with St. Vincent or one of the others to see how we can make it possible for our people.
that's powerful. Those are powerful ideas, y'all, for Portsmouth. I'm telling you, I was in Portsmouth this year in the spring, and yeah, it hurt my heart, eh? It hurt my heart. Some of the comments. Simone, good evening. Philsbert says hello, and he says some of these ideas about certification line up with some of the ideas he's really, been interested in and perhaps has even pushed, but did not get much of a result, like you're saying.
Mhm.
Steve says, what about a chamber of commerce for the constituency? Do you think something like that is important?
Yes, it is important, and this is something we can work on. For
Mm,
me, I will be honest with you and tell you that one of the things that I want to do, it's not about me. It's
mm,
about my community. I want to work together with my community. I know that there are a lot of brilliant minds in Portsmouth. I know that there are a lot of intelligent people in Portsmouth. And what I want to do is pull together a group of persons so we can come together and create some plan. There is a plan for Portsmouth, yeah, in terms
mhm.
of development. But we can put together a list of activities, things that we can do together as a community in order for us to move forward. I will not just go and present a proposal by myself. I mean, I look at people like Asif. Asif is the name that comes to mind.
Mhm,
Erickson Libla.
mhm.
We have Erickson. I mean, Erickson is very good when it comes to technology and those things there.
The boss,
You know,
yeah, it's a boss.
yes.
Yeah.
We have persons such as Ashton. And
Mhm,
that is why that's why independence, being an independent candidate, I think puts me at an advantage because I am not leaning anywhere.
mhm,
You know, I'm not leaning towards workers, I'm not leaning towards labor. I will work with everybody, no matter what side you belong to. And I think it also will make other persons more comfortable. You know, they will not say, oh, she's a labor right, so I don't want to go, or she's a workers, or she's a team unity, or whatever it is. So I think it's placed me at a better advantage. So, like
mhm.
you say, a team of commerce, meet with them. They have ideas too. You know, we brainstorm and we put things together and we work together as a community. I'm doing this for my community, with
Mhm.
my community, and by
Mhm.
my community.
Okay, that's powerful. But I am having this thought because all of us grew up in Portsmouth area, right? Portsmouth is has been entrenched like solidly Labour Party for like all of the life that I am aware of, right?
Mhm.
So why should they say yes to you? Why do you think they're going to say yes to you?
I believe that Portsmouth people is going to say yes to me. And I
Hmm.
want Portsmouth people to say yes to me
Yeah.
because we have been deprived for too long. If Dominica have to develop, Portsmouth must be developed.
Can you say that again?
If Dominica is to be developed, Portsmouth must be developed. There's no if, buts, or maybe about it. Portsmouth is the heart of Dominica. When you
Mm,
talk tourism, You're talking Portsmouth. You know, one of the things that I am already picturing is that of I look at, yes, they don't send the cruise ships to Portsmouth anymore. Or if they
Mm,
come, the people get off and then they head to Roseau.
mm.
But I'm already looking at the Indian River, where last week, for example, there were three coasters with persons, tourists, who came to do the tour of the Indian River. But there
Yeah,
was nothing happening at the Indian River, nothing. And I'm already picturing creating some kind of festive village, work
yeah,
with church tours to
yeah,
know what days we are expecting, even with Pays and Cobra and these people, to know what days are we expecting these cruise passengers to come down to the Indian River and create this little festive village. You know, we can get the guys with the taboos, put them there. We could get probably the steel pan, put them there. We could get those with their little arts and craft. We have James Reiner who does printing in right there in Glanvilla. He could
yeah,
probably print some t-shirts and some souvenirs and towels. We have Max and Tufi in Zikak, as well as Miss Jones. She's not part of our constituency, but she's part of Portsmouth, that is in Lago. You
yeah,
know, persons could come in with confectionery such as coconut cheese and tablets, somebody else with cane, somebody with pure cane juice, another
yeah,
person with coconut water, not bottled, but the real thing, you know,
yeah,
and have a nice live festivity going on while they go up the river and while the other group is waiting. And then when they return, generating some form of cash flow. We want them to spend and leave something in Portsmouth. You know,
wow,
someone visualizing these things, you know, shutting down Bay Street if it's
yeah,
once every 2 months and create a food festival. Everybody join in, you know. Eventually, this is not a Portsmouth thing. You're talking about Dominica, you know.
wow. Yo, okay. I'm inspired, and I'm watching the way you're speaking and how easily you're speaking about these ideas. And it's suggesting to me that you have been thinking about these solutions. You've been thinking about these solutions.
Very
So,
much so.
yes, y'all, so there are 60 of us on the live. I'm going to ask y'all to do me a favor. Each of you, will you share the live right now? Each of you, will you share the live right now? Party or no party, whatever it is, Portsmouth first, right? Portsea first,
Very much so.
right? Portsea first. You understand? All right. So somebody wants to talk about sports. Okay, talk
Mhm.
about sports and what is the field looking like? I didn't go on that side much. You know, the Mango, everybody used to play there. This place was full all day long. Fellas playing football, there's cricket, there's athletics in the park.
Mhm.
What are your plans for sports in Portsmouth? Because that's where we're strong.
Very much so. One, although the park was drained,
Hmm.
we still need to do some work. A lot of work need to be done on the park because it's still getting waterlogged whenever it rains heavily. Um, Even when it rains heavily, I think because the poor draining system, the entire area floods the street to include the park. So there's a time when we need to come together and we have to bring back that kudme.
Hmm.
However, working in tandem with Public Works and even the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of Community Affairs, etc., to
Hmm.
bring all of them on board and see how they can all work together with us to help alleviate that problem that we are going through right now. If it means we have to find a way to clear the drains,
Yeah.
prevent that flood that is happening, um, use my office to put some pressure on them so that
Hmm.
they can, and even the town council itself, and let us come together and do the necessary that we need to do in order for us to clear the drains and to see how we can drain that park a little better. Because we have the biggest park in Dominica.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is true. I look at we have people like Andy and Chris who over the years they have donated and contributed so much. I would say they gave their life to sports in Portsmouth.
They
You know,
did.
they
They
trained some of our athletes. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we had in the athletes like Don Williams and Jerome Romain. And they're still working in the community. You know,
Mm.
we have a lot of young persons doing football right now. They started off with that football academy as well, and we're happy for it. And we would like our park to be developed in a way whereby, who knows, in the next years, we would like to see some of maybe of our young people probably even representing right now we have the World Cup going on. You know,
Yeah.
we'd be able to be
Yeah.
waving a little flag, standing somewhere waving our flag. So I think it's an effort where, again, I will use my office to work with the Ministry of Sports to
Mm-hmm.
find out who's the necessary persons responsible, and
Yeah.
let us do it together, because even while we speak tourism, there's also sports tourism, you know, and we have the potential. So many things can be going on at one time right there in the park. We have
Yeah.
Washway working with the women basketball team. I remember in days of people like bloaters who used to be working with the basketballers. Volleyball used to be a big thing in
Big
Portsmouth.
deal. Big deal.
Clinton
Big.
and Erickson and all these people, you know,
Mm.
and Purple Turtle Breakers were always on top, you know,
Mm.
playing volleyball. And we
Yeah.
need to see how we can revive those things. Find the key persons, those who are responsible for making it possible, those who have the know-how. You understand? Collaborates with our Portsmouth diaspora to see if they could
Yeah.
probably send gears to make it happen. And who knows, maybe some of the people out there, the same persons in the Portsmouth diaspora, they can probably help us in identifying probably scholarships for
Yeah.
some of these persons, because if we can motivate persons with scholarship as well, it will give them an opportunity to now want to come on board. Okay, I want to play basketball in Portsmouth because I stand a chance of getting a scholarship. I want to play volleyball. I want to play, you know,
Yeah.
netball, something like that. So I'm looking at just collaboration all around and working with the necessary ministries responsible. And if
I
it means
love.
I have to ask my people to rally with me and come with
Yeah.
me, then I'm
Yes,
going to make it all.
I love that word collaboration because we do whatever it is we're doing, when we collaborate, you can exponentially multiply the impact when you are collaborating and you're not just trying to do everything on your own. Because one
Mhm.
person, yeah, you're going to get burned out, you're going to hit your wall. Okay, I'm feeling inspired. I can see the comments on the live. People are feeling inspired. How can they support you? Whether or not they are labor people or not? Because it sounds as if you're appealing to everybody. Can you tell us?
Everybody,
All right.
everybody is our community, and it's time we claim our community. It's time that we develop that level of independence. And when I mean independence, there have been come this kind of thing in Dominica, that level of dependency, where you have to be dependent on an individual because they're not making the necessary channels available for us so that we can become independent. But if we, me as an independent candidate, I'm a very independent person. I'm the kind of person, once I set my mind to something, I go for it. It might look difficult, and I'm speaking from a personal aspect, but I tell myself this is how I'm going to do it. If it means, even sometimes in my personal life, sometimes this is what I want to do, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm taking the right approach. I may go about and I might ask a few questions, much less why if I'm doing that for the community,
Yeah.
you know, doing that for my community. No, mean I'm going to tell them, listen, this is how we're going to get independent. We need to start doing it for ourselves. Yes, we are going to go and ask for the help that we need to get it done.
Yeah.
We're not going to cause a revolution, but we are going to do it in the right way. If it means we have to do petitions,
Yeah.
proposals, I know of a lot of persons that can do beautiful proposals, because, for example, there are certain things I may be able to know. I may have to seek professional advice. I may have to seek legal advice because I'm new to this, you know. So I'm prepared to go out and seek the advice from the right set of persons. And I am looking at what we have persons in all skill sets. I look at the hospital, you know, our hospital, oh my God. We've moved from a hospital where we could keep patients to a hospital that's now something like an observation room for about 2-3 hours, and that's about it.
Wow.
We
Wow.
have persons out there that we could utilize. We could ask, we have persons like Nick. We have persons like Claire Douglas. We have persons like Dawn
Greg.
Douglas. We have persons like Dr. Vidal, Gregory Vidal.
Yes, Greg.
We have
Hmm.
persons like Nadia Wallace. And
Yes.
then we have resources in Portsmouth
Yeah.
that we can use to help our community grow, working in tandem with the government.
Mm-hmm.
We want to put the pressure on the government to let them know that we have had enough.
Yeah.
And it is time for you to deliver for Portsmouth. We are
So, what
prepared
is
to
your
work
ask
with you.
of the people? So, what is your ask of the people of Portsmouth? What are you asking?
I am asking the people of Portsmouth to come out on election day and to support me, Heather Vidal, as an independent candidate, because I am prepared and I am ready to work with each and every one of you to take Portsmouth to the next level. We tired here, Portsmouth has potential. It is
Mm-hmm.
within each and every one of us to make it happen. And now it's time for us to make it happen. We have let the Labour Party take advantage of us for too long. And it is really dear to my heart. I love my community. They have taken advantage of us for too long. They have not given us any benefits. They have taken us for granted. And it's time that we say, hey, listen, we need to put an end to this.
Mm-hmm. So, y'all, you're hearing it from independent candidate Heather Vidal. She is asking for the people of Portsmouth to come out and do something different this election. Try something different to see if you get perhaps a different result. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
That's what I'm
very
hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Look, here, these are some of the comments I'm seeing right here. I'm going to show some of them, right? So, Asif says, there's a reason why the park floods and doesn't drain properly. But he says tonight is not the night for this. Tonight is about hearing from the prospective candidate. He also says these are some things that have already been discussed. So it's like these ideas are there, but it's like the people of Portsmouth are saying, but it's not being taken to fruition. It's not coming to pass.
Mhm.
Dave is inspired. Hmm? Dave is inspired. Clement says this thing is shared. Rita says, let's talk sports. And we just did. Clement is very impressed with how articulate you are.
Thank you. But I would love, you see, people like Asif.
Mhm.
I have been, from since I small, I know Asif has really been instrumental
Talent.
in the community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't have the time to meet a lot of people.
Hmm.
And even going out through this campaign, um, it is a little difficult for me to move around as fast as I'd like to because I do not have any form of transportation. So I'm doing this on what I call my HV11. That's my number plate, my two legs. So I'm going about, walking around and doing those things. So it's
Yeah.
a little difficult for me to meet people. But I'd love to meet with people. I would love to meet with persons, have a one-on-one because remember, I am fully aware that the people in the constituency have a concern. The people in the constituency, some of them have answers to some of the questions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and they too, they have ideas. So, meeting with them, having a discussion with them, they can also guide. They can also give me guidance. You
Mm.
understand? How
Hmm.
I move from one point to the next. So, I'm not being selfish. I am open minded. I
Yeah.
am willing to meet, to dialogue, to exchange ideas and share
Yeah.
views, etc. You know?
Yeah.
Because one of the other things that's dear to my heart is that of either a youth center or
Mm-hmm.
a resource center because I work with young people. I
Mm-hmm.
love young people. I sometimes pull up on the block and I speak to some of the young men,
Mm-hmm.
asking them what are some of their challenges. I sometimes even ask them, why don't you try doing a skill with the youth skills division,
Yeah.
So this is something I look at a lot of young people sometimes just walking aimlessly on the road. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering, if we had this place where we could bring them, maybe a Friday evening, have an activity with them, a talent night, probably a panel discussion. These persons, they can come on board and they can share their stories. And we can create avenues for them. And for
Mm-hmm.
those of us who have skills, we can organize little training workshops for them so that they can enhance their skills, develop their knowledge, and grow.
Yeah.
And it can work to reduce the number of young persons that are on the block in the corner and just idle on the streets. So this is something that is dear to my heart, and I looking at targeting that in two ways. One, put a proposal before the government. If you
Mm,
don't want to build a youth center for us right now, Maria destroyed the center and nothing happened. I remember cultural groups and other little groups. They would
yeah,
practice there. Now the cultural groups, they do not have anywhere for them to practice. You know, there was
mhm,
a table tennis board there. Some young people would go there. They would do their little table tennis. The steel pan house was housed there. Right now, the lady has the steel pans packed up in her place because there's nowhere that she can go utilize it. You know, so we need that place. If it means rent, you're gonna rent a space for us for now until you can build something. Let us get it going.
yeah,
And if we cannot get it within a reasonable, we want it within a reasonable space of time. And
yeah.
it's difficult to get it within that space of time. It's all about collaboration for me. If it means I have to ask every single individual within the constituency and within the Portsmouth diaspora to send home $20 in their
That's
currency
that's
so
it.
that we can get this space and make it happen, we are going to do it. That is part of the plan because that is really, really dear to my heart.
I love your passion. I love your energy. I love your passion. Asif says, hey, he's aware that campaign time is short. Do you have any plans for an open house or a sit down to discuss your plans and to take questions from your constituents who are interested clearly in hearing more about your independent ideas?
Yes. First of all, it is a little difficult because to be running as an independent candidate, it takes a lot from you, finance that you don't have. So
Hmm.
you have to be trying to pull little things here and there. But I am hopefully planning on having a launching next week, God's willing, probably later down in the week.
Hmm.
However, I will pass around or I'll get someone to go around and announce it for me. I will
Hmm.
also use social media to
Okay.
advertise it. Yes.
Okay. How can people support you now? Say somebody wants to support your campaign. How
Mhm.
can they connect with you?
My telephone number is 245-4415. So they can contact me and we can always take it from there.
Okay, so I'm going to type it in there 245
Four four
4415
one five.
and 767 if
Yes,
you're
seven
outside, right?
seven. Yeah.
4415, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 245 4415. Yo, okay, somebody else. Brave Soldier says she thinks you need a town hall meeting ASAP.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um, that is something I have to think about. I have to think about a spot, a location,
yeah,
especially knowing that I'm running as an independent candidate. Uh,
exactly.
I'm hoping that maybe someone would say it's okay. I could use the school.
I was
You
about
know?
to say, and you are saying yes. Heather is saying yes to any support. So you have her number right here. She's saying yes to anybody who's ready and willing to offer her space to arrange a town hall for the people of Portsmouth. Yeah. Mervyn Paul says, I really admire your bold move, and this is what we need in more constituencies. It is time we send people with no party affiliations to stand up for their communities. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm hearing from you. You're
Yes.
like, I am from this place, and I've seen
Mm-hmm.
our people and our community just, we're on ice. We're on ice, frozen.
Nothing is happening. Nothing.
Yeah.
I just feel like nobody cares anymore. I think
Wow.
everybody they just at the when it's election time they come and it's like they rip from us, they take from us, and they go away, and that's it. That's
Wow.
it.
And so you're asking people to remember essentially their self esteem.
Yeah.
Hey, how valuable do you think you are? And what are you willing to do about it? And there you
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Because
So
I
moving says,
mean,
go ahead. Go ahead.
even some persons, I mean, I've met persons who have argued, and said to me, "Oh, but we receive houses."
Yeah.
While I will say yes, that is true, but at what cost?
Yeah. What is the
Because
cost, do you think? At what
it,
cost do you
well,
think?
remember, yes, while it is free, the problem is whenever you receive something for free, anything that is wrong, you cannot really make a big fuss about it. It's like you're silenced. But if you're paying something for it, be it a maintenance fee, then you can make an argument as to, hey, you need to get this thing fixed.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that in the next few years, we may have a slum.
You know,
Is
I
money
keep
being right? Is money being put aside for maintenance for these buildings?
so this is you thinking ahead. This is you and other constituents thinking ahead and also looking at how building situations like these have turned out in
Mm-hmm.
other areas, and it's
Very
not
much so.
an elevation, it's been a this. And
Very
so we're
much.
praying for different, but you can, as adults, we understand we can't just live on prayer. We've got to do things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mervin is saying he's very impressed with your vision for your constituency. Janice's hurt is about the hospital. So can
Mm-hmm.
you tell me again? You said it feels like the hospital right now is just an observation room.
Yeah. I feel like the hospital is like a clinic. I remember being very young and going to the Portsmouth Hospital.
Yeah.
Portsmouth Hospital, we had theater where you could perform a surgery. You didn't have to go to Roseau.
Mm-hmm.
Portsmouth Hospital, we had the maternity ward.
Mm-hmm.
We also had a morgue in case someone passed.
Yeah.
You could put
Yeah.
them in. We had men ward. We had women ward. There was so many things that we had.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking in the 1970s, and today in the 21st century,
Yeah.
you have to be sent to Roseau to have your baby.
Yeah.
Instead, we have regressed. And it is really dear to my heart. How can we fix this? Who is going to fix this? Who do we speak to? Who do we put the necessary pressure on to get this resolved? Because if we can get this resolved, then we can move forward.
Yes.
We can move forward. We have a lot of persons, for example, I'm hoping the Janice, I'm hoping that we can get persons to come, like I said, the doctors we have.
Yeah.
Sometime, who knows? Maybe we know Dr. Vidal is coming for vacation. And I
Yeah.
could find out, hi, Dr. Vidal, could you give us 1 week of your time at the hospital? Could you work with our people? Maybe we have a lot of nurses who just up and left because of the entire whole system.
Wow.
The pay is not that good. You go to the hospital in the evening. I am one of those who have had that experience. Gone to the hospital at about 2 o'clock in the morning and then keep me under observation. And then by 5 o'clock, I have to leave. And just to leave and go home and then to return the next afternoon
Mm-hmm.
because the problem have not gone away.
Mm-hmm.
If we had the proper facilities, then I would have been able to remain at the hospital. Gone are the days where when you hear your family member going to Roseau, you think of the worst.
Yeah.
Now they tell your family member going to Roseau, you have nothing to worry about. It's not anything. It's just that the hospital refused to keep people. What is missing? And nobody is giving us an answer.
Mm.
We need to know what is wrong. Why can't we keep people down here at the Portsmouth Hospital?
Mm. I want to ask about social welfare
Mm-hmm.
programs, like mental health support,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just caring for people who are at their lowest. What is available in Portsmouth? Do you have any ideas for that?
Okay, well, I am aware of the program for the care for the elderly,
Mm.
where there are persons who go about, they take care of the elderly. I will not shy away from it,
Mm. Mhm.
but some of these persons, they are not trained. So they also need to get some form of training because especially when we have the elderly, there are different ways that a different approach needs to be taken. Some of
Mhm.
them, they probably need us to help to lift them. They need to get basic training, even if it's with the fire officers or first aiders, to teach them how to put them to seats,
Yeah.
how to lift them without the individuals themselves, the caretakers, damaging themselves or straining themselves. So we could continue the program by working with the caretakers or extending on the program to work with the caretakers so that they will be better able to take care of the elderly. We also notice that we have quite a few persons on the road who are homeless. And
Mm,
have persons such as Miss Jennifer Jeffers. We have Sharon Vidal. We also have Candia Powell and team. They go about doing this hot meals,
mm,
that they feed them with. So as a parliamentary representative, I will work with them to ensure that it continues. And with me being able to collaborate with them and work with them and probably even other persons in the community, they can
yeah,
even reach out to more persons.
yeah.
So it's a work in progress. I'm trying
Wow.
to see how we could work with these persons. I look at our even some of the persons, the senior citizens. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them they are not bedridden. They can go out, but more or less to the porch to just see, what's up, what's happening. But
Mm-hmm.
create little programs for them, organize a shuttle bus, pick them up, take them to the cabarets, let them spend the day, provide them with a lunch, have a little picnic for them. So at least they got out of the house. They had a wonderful day. Probably take them to the sulfur hot pools at the back of the Soufriere there, where we know they don't have any hills to climb. It's just flat, and just lie down in the shallow water and enjoy themselves, have a cool bath, and they feel like part of the community. They're enjoying their health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. And I think we also need to take that mental health at another level. We laugh everything. We take
Yeah,
everything for a simple joke. We have
yeah.
these guys walking on the streets and they expose themselves indecently. And we need to see how we can work together with the police, because I
Mm-hmm.
think the police can do a better job in terms of saying that these persons, we need to get them off the street. If it
Mm-hmm.
means we need to take them to the hospital so that they can send them up to get their medication or to provide them with some form of medication. Work with the necessary persons to go around. I
Mm-hmm.
also believe that with a resource center, a youth center, if we are able to, even if it's once a week, we could put a counselor in there. I mean, look, we have you here. Even if
Man,
even if
even if it's via Zoom, even
via
if it's
Zoom.
via telepsych.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Then we can say, okay, if it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you
yeah,
can come in and you can speak to X, Y, and Z.
yeah, yeah.
Because just being able to speak to somebody, we just might reduce one more mental case on the street.
That's it. That's it. Wow. Okay, Brave Soldier says, I'm not from the North, but that lady is the best since Mike Douglas. She speaks out from her heart. And I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of people are feeling tonight, because I'm feeling it either. I
Yeah. Because this is something that I've been thinking of a long time. From
mhm,
since 2019, I told my mom, hey, listen, next election, I'm running as an independent candidate because it hurts me.
yeah,
And the first thing she said to me was, you're on your own, eh?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But one of the things what I did, from time to time, I'm going out, I'd call my mom, and I would say to her, let's go take a drive. We'd go around, we would look around, and I'd say, Mommy, I'd point certain things to her attention, and I say, Mommy, when you were growing up, certain things were much better. Look
mm,
at this. What you notice? Do you see any form of improvement? And then, she's able to really, go into it. And I say, let's forget about love of party. And
mhm,
let's think about love for our community. Let's be honest with ourselves and let's speak the truth.
yeah,
And right now, my mom is on board with me.
yeah,
She's everywhere with me, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yes,
That's powerful.
yes,
That's a great convert. Yeah,
yes.
that's powerful. That's
And then I
powerful.
have persons like Rita Alcide, who is right
Yes,
there in the forefront with me. I'm really thankful, for her because she's there with me, going out with me, giving me
yeah,
the support that I need. So
yeah.
I am really thankful.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, y'all. So we're already an hour in. What I'm going to do right now, I'm so grateful to you for showing up and saying yes to come talk to the people more so they hear more. The reason that I have chosen to talk to, say, an independent candidate versus somebody who's already supported by $23 million is that the person with $23 million already, they have the radio station, they have the food, they have the drinks, they have the
Mhm.
sound system, they've got that microphone already. And I'm really enjoying tonight's conversation. Really,
Yes.
I am. So, how about we just answer some of the questions of your constituents,
Okay.
right? So, Asif has another question for you. If by chance you're not successful this time around,
Mhm.
would you stick around and continue doing the groundwork, or will you disappear and say, "I tried"? Chupu.
Okay, I love that question.
Mhm.
It is my intention because in 2019, I said that this is what I was going to do. I
Mhm.
was just not expecting it to be this year. I was expecting it to be 2 years from now.
Right.
I will continue my campaign. I
Yeah.
will continue working with the people because that it would be a great opportunity for me to continue working with the people rather than just disappear. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, we have been trying to see how we can collaborate with a few persons in the diaspora to provide us with some Christmas lights so we can see where in Portsmouth that we can light up later in
Mhm.
December, once everything works out well for us. So it's a start. It's a start, and I plan to continue.
That's awesome. Well, you have Asif's support. He says, "I salute you and the step that you have taken. I am willing to, if you have the time, to sit and dialogue with you anytime."
Yes, I would love that. I would welcome it. He has my number, so tell him feel free to hit me up so that I can save his number so that we can have a conversation and keep in touch.
Okay, Erickson? All right. Clement is asking, is music a part of the school curriculum at the schools in Portsmouth? Do you know the answer to?
I do know that St. John's Academy, they do have some form of music program, or I remember they had some form of music program. I do hope that it is still ongoing, but I can always find out from the school. Not
Mm,
too long ago, even while we're talking about, I'm not the kind of person to go around and boast and say what it is that I do. Sometimes I just do things silently, but
yeah.
I do sometimes volunteer my time, to help. Um, Not too long ago, I gave a contribution to the St. John's Primary and St. John's Academy. One got a barrel of 4 barrels
Mm,
of books, another
wow.
one 5 barrels of books, and it
Mm,
went towards the development of the school's library. So
yeah.
working with the schools is also part of my plan.
Wow. I heard that the St. John's Academy might actually have been facing some financial problems. Do you know about that?
That's what I heard, but as to finding more information about that, I have not. But I did say that I would ask, try to see if
Mm,
I could ask some questions and if they would be willing to provide me with some information because that's my son's alma mater.
mm,
So it would be nice if I could really hear from them, and I really hope that they're trying to see how they can work things out.
yeah. Asif says he can make his garage available if you want it. Okay,
Oh,
so that'd be a great spot for that town hall, that meet and greet.
right
Okay,
now, anything is possible for me. I have no, I
absolutely.
really don't care where I go as long as I meet the people.
Absolutely. Janice is saying for a simple x-ray, you got to go to Roseau,
And imagine that was being done in Portsmouth.
in
Yes,
Portsmouth.
it
People
was.
like me I was born in the hospital, Portsmouth Hospital. And you say, no, people got to go up to Roseau.
Yep.
Andrina says we'll be ambulanced to Marigot soon. Really shameful. I
I
think
was.
the part I feel frustrated with is that, as you mentioned earlier, as you're driving with your mommy and you're saying, "Mommy, when you were growing up, did things look like they were better?"
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, we've come so far. This is 2022. Why are things in reality looking
Mhm.
worse than they
Yep.
were? And that's where we have to go. We have to go towards what is actually there. What is the reality versus the potential,
Yep.
would you
Mhm.
say?
You know.
Veli, my cousin, says, well said about the hospital. Well said about the hospital. Tryphinia, my namesake, says, it's a shame. She feels ashamed by the way the Labour Party has treated Portsmouth.
Very much so. And I mean, it took a lot of courage from me to do that.
Hmm.
I decided that I was taking the bold step. I will not be deterred. I have been called crook. I have
Yeah,
been called traitor. I
yeah,
have been called all kind of things. But for me, it's taking a stand for proper representation, and I look to development. We need to take a stand for something, and
yeah,
we need to stand for something. I think we need to get out of certain behaviors and certain norms
Mm-hmm.
We need to start to grow.
Yeah. Cuteness says it's a shame that people allow themselves to be treated that way. People need to start holding their power reps accountable. And she's agreeing with you when she says we need to be less partisan because you can love your party all you want. But what do you have in your hand to show for it? Because that's what a party is supposed to be there for.
Exactly. And you're there for the people, to represent the people.
The people. Rubes is remembering the children's ward was sponsored by Geest Industry. Most of the new beds were from Geest. They had Christmas parties on the wards. That's how great Portsmouth was. I hear a
Yeah.
lot of sadness and like disappointment from many of the comments.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mervyn says, I think the people of Portsmouth need to rally behind you, Heather, big time. Send a resounding message because I think we forget that that's our responsibility, that
Yep.
we're not doing the community a favor when we say to the PAL rep, I see that you have not done what we hoped you would do or you said you would do, but I'm saying yes to you anyway.
Hmm.
We do ourselves a big disservice. So he says, send a message to the political parties that no longer Portsmouth people are done with being taken for granted and being asked to come out with, let me not go there too. Portsmouth deserves better having supported Labour for so long. And again, he thinks that the political parties have taken Dominicans as a whole for granted and
Very much.
used them for their personal and individual advancement. And the
Hmm.
people are saying, no mass. What do you think about that? Do you think the people should be indebted to the government or the government should be indebted to the people?
The people is not indebted to the government. No. The government need the people and the government need to respect the people because
Yeah,
these are the people who put them there.
yeah. I think you have some strong support from Asif. He says he's willing to offer the little he has to assist in developing his community. Feel free to find him. Yes.
Very,
Oh, man. Well, T Bell says she's very proud of you. Okay. That takes a lot of courage. Can you tell me a little bit more about like your process? Okay. So I know in 2019 you make this decision, you're like, oh, the little idea bubbles in your head, but it takes a lot to, you know, what was that process like for you to really make a decision to where you got to you decided yes?
1 minute.
Okay. Okay. So Heather is taking 1 minute, y'all. See her pretty background. I like her flowers in the background. Germa says you have her support. Hi, Germa. How are you? Germa says you have her support 100%. Cuteness says people should not be afraid to voice their disappointment and disapproval with actions and policies. Have you felt from the people, have you heard from constituents that they feel afraid to voice their disappointments?
Um, there are some of them, yes. Some of them figure the job that they hold, they're afraid to speak for fear of victimization.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually asked if I'm not afraid that I would lose out on some opportunities that I could receive from the government. And
Mm,
my response to the individual was the beautiful thing is that they can take away the opportunities, but they can't take away my knowledge.
that's right. That's right. So you have to know who you are. Again, it's a self-esteem issue.
Yeah,
It's a self-esteem issue. Congratulations to you, Heather. Thanks for putting community first. Because you grew up in a labor household.
very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. All I turn was labor.
Yeah.
Last year, my mom, in 2019, my mom would tell me not to enter her house with no blue, wearing any blue, and I would spitefully put blue on me and go to her home to frustrate her.
Yes. Wow. So she was so identified with the party that even the color blue, she couldn't handle it.
Very much so.
Peto Corbett Frank says, you are so knowledgeable and she's very impressed with your plans for our community.
Thank you.
Yes. Robertine says she's proud of your strength, Heather. Keep committed and keep focused. Yes, yes, yes. Marianne George says, great interview. So, so proud of you, my girl, for taking that stance. You have my support, even though I'm not from the constituency. And Rita says, Portsmouth has no economic development, hence money circulation is a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
A running theme
Very
tonight.
much.
Running theme tonight. And that's the question, I think all of us have to ask. It's why do you elect an official? What is the reason to elect an official?
To take care of the affairs of the country and the communities.
And so if you're not seeing those affairs like the Mang, Marakiye Mang, like the Mang, the Marina, the Morocco, all them things there. You're not seeing Ross. Where's Ross? Ross is not in your eyes anymore. Would you say that you would give your representative a pass or a fail? And
I
then
would,
what do you do about it? So
yeah,
what do you say? You say you would give him a what?
I'd give my representative a fail. I have this great idea for the Moroccan. I know I would be told, hey, this is out of your constituency.
Yeah,
However, we still consider Lago as part of Port. Well, Lago is part of Portsmouth.
what's right?
We are fully aware that Lago was moved for political reasons
Yeah,
in the days of free,
gerrymandering. Yeah,
right? So
gerrymandering.
if you want to say that it's not part of the constituency, then again the word collaboration going to come back. Then we
Mhm.
could collaborate as a constituency to make this happen.
Yeah,
Um, when I will get to a town hall meeting, I think I will share my ideas for the Moroccan hotel with persons who are present.
very good, very good. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Mr. Paul says the very fact that people would ask you about being afraid says what sort of political culture has been cultivated in Dominica.
Very much so. Very much so. I would also like to be the type of parliamentary representative who, one, I want to provide transparency
Mm,
because yes, I'm looking at going in there to make a difference, going in there to give a voice. And I am sure that Dominicans will agree with me that even in the House of Assembly, you just hear a bunch of people clowning around.
yeah,
How many times have we really listened in the House and we would hear something being asked for our constituency? I have never heard anything being asked for in my constituency.
mm,
Probably, I don't know, maybe other persons listen to the House of Assembly more than me. So I stand corrected.
mhm,
But it is an opportunity for me to use my position to ask for stuff for my constituency. That's my role. That is what I was put there for.
yeah,
And I would come back to my people and let them know what is happening. I spoke about collaboration with our Portsmouth diaspora.
yeah,
Yes, we need to have transparency. So, in case we decided we're going to collaborate on X and Y, I would
mhm,
let them know what is happening, give them feedbacks, updates,
yeah,
ensure that the office is open and that people can come in,
yeah,
no matter who you are, because that's why I'm independent. You will not
yeah,
feel like I don't want to go because she may not favor me because I am blue or I am red. The
yeah,
beautiful thing about independence is that you see no color.
yeah.
For me, I see no color, and I've never ever had any issues with persons based on their party color.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes,
so
yes,
the office, it will create that atmosphere where persons can feel free to come, and it's not about just walking around election time. Even if it's once a week or once every 2 weeks, even if I do it in this week, I maybe decide, okay, I'll go to Portsmouth.
mhm,
Next week, I probably go to Bonn. The other week, I go to Dodan, because all these form part of our constituency,
yeah,
and we merge together and ensure that whatever we're doing for ourselves here in Portsmouth, they're integrated and they are part of it.
yes. Wow. Look, I'm impressed. Look, I'm impressed. I have a thing that I say that every child, that every student that passed under my hand, I saw the potential. Let me tell you, you are living up to your potential. And I
Thank you.
am very proud of you. I could listen to you for 3 hours. The passion and the energy in your voice and the speed with which these ideas are rolling off your tongue tell me you didn't have to study for this.
No, I wasn't coached.
You've been living this and thinking this and breathing this.
Mm-hmm.
Dream. You mentioned the word visualizing.
Yes.
When you visualize Portsmouth, saying 20 years, what do you see?
I want to see a dynamic Portsmouth 20 years from now. A Portsmouth that is bustling. You know, you feel like you're in a foreign country, and not just any foreign country, you know. A place where a city that never sleeps, you
Yeah,
know. That's
yeah,
the kind of Portsmouth I envision.
yeah,
You know, right now I would stay down between Pembroke and Bay Street, and I would look down Bay Street, and the place is empty by 5 o'clock.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A place where I used to leave cottage after I sell my little coconut and come down and watch my little kung fu. Or
You
little man.
know.
Ay, ay, ay. Ooh! Yeah, it is quite something. It hurt my heart. It
Mhm.
hurt my heart in the spring to see Portsmouth. It hurt my heart. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Asif says, Asif says he doesn't blame the last Parl rep for what has happened in the past. However, over the years, there have been particular groups of persons who were undermining, he thinks, his
Mhm.
representation. And
Mhm.
he's saying now that whoever gets into that space he vacated
Mhm.
should build their own seat and
Mhm.
not be manipulated or manipulatable by
Mhm.
her.
That's my greatest fear.
Yeah.
That's my greatest fear. Yes. But that's why I say, you know, we need to use our constituents as our supports.
Mm.
If we that is because they elected us to
Yeah.
represent them. And I think we owe them a responsibility to
Mm.
go to them ever so often and let them know, hey, listen, this is what is going on.
Yeah.
And they will respect us more, you
Yeah.
know, because they are aware as to what is happening rather than we just turn a blind eye or we just speak to one or two, like persons talking about. That's what we use a town hall meeting to do, you
Yeah.
know. We use a town hall meeting to say, hey guys, I'm there with you, I'm really trying to rally for you, but it's really difficult, you
Yeah.
know. So maybe it's a great opportunity. Your community, your constituents would come together and say, okay, how can we help you?
Yeah.
What can we do? Where can we start? You
Yeah.
know? So I think I want to, that's why I say I want to make that difference where I want to come out and be as open as possible to my constituents, and I want to work open-handedly with them.
Y'all, you're listening to Heather Vidal, independent candidate for Portsmouth constituency. I don't know about you, but I'm hearing somebody who seems to have Portsmouth on her heart, in her heart, on her tongue. Mm? It's just flowing out. It's just flowing out of you. And I really love that. I mean, I haven't spoken to the other candidate, but I am appreciating the energy and the passion that you are expressing here for Portsmouth tonight. And I really hope that what you're visualizing comes to pass.
Yeah.
Gloria is saying this is exactly what Portsmouth and Lago need, a total break from the Dominica Labour Party.
Mhm.
It's been years since she's been saying we need an independent who's nonpartisan and one who genuinely cares for the town and the constituency and all its people.
Yeah. And while I'm here, I really want to state for the record that
Mm,
the constituents should not be afraid. I am not going to take them for granted. Neither will I betray or disappoint them. It
yeah,
is not my intention to go up there and win as an independent candidate and take my vote and do something different. This is
yeah.
not my plan. This is not my objective. I am here as a independent candidate and I will continue to be an independent candidate.
Mm, mm. Okay. I think what you're saying is important because I think a lot of political trauma has happened in Dominica with
Mhm.
moves like that have completely disregarded the emotions and the investment of time and energy and love and passion that constituents have in people who just they get to a certain elevation and they say, this right here is better for me. And they just
Yeah.
essentially abandon their constituents.
Yeah, for me,
Correct.
it's about my community, not about me. This is not about me. It's not about Heather. It's about the Portsmouth constituency. That's where my passion lies.
Well, I'm hearing it in your voice tonight. I am. Asif says he's given the former Parl rep his fair share of blows because he was blinded, but he came to realize that others had agendas that essentially were not these agendas were anti-Portsmouth. The
Mm-hmm.
result of it is these agendas, whatever their reasoning or whatever motivated those agendas, it meant that not the PAL rep suffered, but the
Mm-hmm.
people suffered.
Very much so.
The people,
Very much so.
yeah. Anthony thinks you're a very positive lady speaking. And yeah. Mervyn says, what about a radio station for the mother based in Portsmouth? For the mother, community radio would open up opportunities for young people who have an interest in media. But I was going to ask you about like digital. What are your thoughts on how we can make use of the digital economy, build that up? What you have any ideas in that regard for the people of Portsmouth?
This section, I have not really sat and decided as to the way forward,
Yeah,
but use of individuals who is versed in that in
yeah,
the constituency,
yeah.
then of course something can be planned and prepared for that.
You know, you just gave an answer that this is me as an evaluator. Um, my level of respect for you just climbed a little bit because you didn't have the answer for me, and
Mhm.
you said that. You didn't come up with some bull caca.
Yeah,
You didn't come up with something
be
big.
honest.
You didn't come up with something. You didn't try to do a thing with it.
Hmm.
Sorry about the bull caca. So I did not bull caca. But you did not. You said, I don't see the way forward yet. I need more information. I'm going to be investigating this
Hmm.
versus just,
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
that's why I said I'll work with persons because some persons have ideas, you know, and these are, for example, I'm gonna piggyback on Erickson again. Erickson, sorry if you find I piggybacking on you too much, but I know he's good in that, you
Mm.
know. So these are the people come up with ideas and they tell you, how to go about doing certain things.
And
And
one person cannot know everything.
yes,
One person cannot
exactly.
know
And
everything.
that's why I did say, as parliamentary representative, there are certain areas where I will have to seek professional help
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
well as legal.
Hmm.
I would have to seek that kind of information from the professionals and from the legal standpoint of it.
Hmm. Hmm. Jacqueline says she's very impressed with your presentation. The PAL reps have had a constituency day every week, but in her mind, it has seemed like a rest day for many people.
Okay.
So, um, all right. So again, why should a Labourite say like your mom? Your mom was opposed to Labour, you said, right?
Mhm.
Why
Yes,
should somebody who's with as much passion as your mother had for the Labour Party vote for you?
a Labourite
Hmm.
should vote for me because we need to see growth and development within our constituency. They need to think about the future of Portsmouth, the future of their children,
Hmm.
as well as the future of even themselves. Some of them are unemployed, and there's no answer, to that. Some of them who are probably they have a skill. I was piggybacking on skills earlier, but
Hmm.
they are not certified, and as a result, they continue to get the lower paying jobs. And I am presenting myself as someone who is willing to work with them to elevate their standards,
Hmm.
to prepare them to get better paying jobs, as well as to work with them within the constituency to see how we can bring about change, but a
Hmm.
better change, growth and development.
There you have it. There you have it. Patricia was asking, why did you think Labourites would vote for you? Why do you think they will? Which is a different question. Why do you think they are going to vote for you?
I believe that a lot of Laborites are going to vote for me because they honestly know that I'm speaking the truth. Some
Mm.
of them are just afraid to say that you're speaking the truth, probably because of maybe what they stand to gain, or probably what they have gained in the past, as
Mhm.
well as for fear of victimization. Because I mean, I've spoken to quite a number of persons, and they're like, I would like to stand up, but I'm afraid of victimization. So as a result, they would prefer to remain in what we call behind the scenes, you
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
So I do know that a lot of persons are going to vote for me because they too are feeling the grinds.
Yeah.
They're feeling the grinds, but because they continue to play part season and all these different kind of things, and some of them they want to flip the script,
Yeah.
but they were not given a choice. But I am giving them a choice now. They have a choice. It's not just one candidate.
Yeah.
And the choice, the better choice right now is Heather.
And they have the opportunity to say yes to Heather.
Very much so.
Hmm. As if he's saying it's bigger than the Labour Party, and he identified himself as a Labourite a minute ago, but he says right now, given the state that Portsmouth is in
Mm-hmm.
under the Labour Party for
Mm-hmm.
the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years,
Mm-hmm.
right now, for the life of the community,
Mm-hmm.
you got to make a different choice, because they say the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So
Yeah.
if the past you've seen the hospital, you're telling me is now like an observation
Mm-hmm.
clinic. You're saying Ross is not here anymore.
Very
You're
much.
saying there's no marina that's been promised. You're saying
Mm-hmm.
that Moroccan hotel is still there,
Falling apart.
falling apart. There's so many, the youth center, the resource center. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
are still looking for places to even put the steel pan, whatever, the vibrant culture, the life that we grew up with. It's like the blood has been sucked out
Very
of
much
the
so.
town. The blood has been sucked out of the town. I wonder about the kids now, if they can relate to our experience of growing up and Portsmouth being on fire. You
Yeah.
know, on
It's
fire.
difficult. Only we can share our stories with them.
It feels like a lifetime ago, like it's a completely different place. But the thing is, instead of, like you said, as you were talking with your mom, and you'd ask your mom, "Hey, mom, does it look like it's gotten better or worse?"
Yeah.
It's gotten worse, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
It's gotten worse. Yeah. So I want you to reiterate and remind. So Catherine wants you to say, because Catherine is just coming in. If you win, how are you going to make it better? You had some fabulous ideas that were just rolling off your tongue a minute ago. Review that for the people who are just coming in, because we're starting to wind down.
I would make it better through one collaboration,
Mm.
collaboration with both the Portsmouth constituency present as
Mhm.
well as the Portsmouth diaspora. Would create many forms of collaboration through sports, um,
Mm.
through social welfare, through the development of the youth center, through job enhancement and trainings for individuals to put them in a better place where they can compete for better paying jobs, as well as they can also compete for some jobs because some persons are denied jobs because of certain things.
Mhm.
So these are some of the things that I would be proposing, and I would be working forward to do, put proposals before the government, probably even, for example, we have CBI and you have persons coming in and persons who are willing to invest. Now I would use my voice to in the house to let them know why Portsmouth should be developed, why this marina should be placed in Portsmouth. Because I will continue to say, if Dominica is to be developed, Portsmouth must first be developed, you know?
I'm with you on that, y'all. So type in the chat if you think you would love to hear Heather's voice on House of Assembly Parliament Day. Think about that. Type yes or no if you would enjoy hearing her speak in the House of Assembly. on Parliament Day? Type it in the chat. Gloria said, Heather, this is what is called a revolutionary move. It's brand new. It's a boom move. It's high energy move. And it's solo, but it's full of energy and power. And I appreciate it, let me tell you. She says Portsmouth needed that. I said it a few times online that was the women, the people from Portsmouth who hold the power. Whichever way one wants to look at that statement, bravo to you. It's all up to the people. And she praised truth to power all over this that you're speaking about tonight.
Amen.
I want you to share with me, think about it like real quick. What's the first most pleasant memory you have of growing up in Portsmouth?
Ooh. One of my first pleasant memory of growing up in Portsmouth, it might be something really, it might sound funny, but I remember by the government school, there was this little red hill, and that was one
The
of the way I would have
red
had
clay
fun.
hill.
And you would just go up by that hill and just skate down and dirty all your clothes. Yes, when I go home, I get a lot of blows and things, but that was one of my most fun memories in Portsmouth. And the little birds when they were in the park and you just go chasing them. Yeah, these are some of my most fun memories growing up in Portsmouth and interacting with the individuals even as a child. I remember when Chueyo, I don't know if you know those type of pants they used to call Chueyo. And when Chueyo was in style, and every every Sunday when they would have children dance, my mom would go down with us with this little stool. She would never allow us to enter, but she would put this stool, would sit down on the Rudolph Thomas, and we would eat peanuts and popcorn and soft drink. And then when it's done at 6 o'clock, go home. I felt like I had the best time ever.
Who is your favorite Portsmouth Calypsonian? Who did you used to look forward to hearing in Portsmouth Calypso?
Um, I used to really love Castle, Superior Castle, when he came on the scene. Yeah, yeah, I really loved him. One of his favorite song to me is Leave All the Drug, the Crack Alone. Yes.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. What's your favorite show you watched at RBD?
My favorite show would have been The Queen Show.
I just wanted you to think about these things to just resurrect some memories in
Yes.
everybody's
And
mind.
everybody
And
look forward to the Queen Show because Queen Show, from Queen Show, you go straight into Juve. You don't sleep.
Juve.
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that's beautiful. Y'all, I really appreciate y'all showing up to listen to Heather. Heather, lots of people would love to hear your voice.
Thank you.
I would love to hear your voice.
I'm
God, I
thankful.
got tears in the back of my eyes. Yeah, I would love to hear your voice in the House of Assembly.
Thank you. And I'm
Yeah,
truly happy for the support thus far.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, y'all. Yeah, we got a lot of growing to do and building to do and remembering to do. I
Mhm.
think we went to sleep for a while. All of us, in many ways, went to sleep and we got to get up. We got to wake up. We've got to wake up. We've got to wake up. So, what are your final thoughts as we wrap up here tonight?
My final thoughts is that I just want to see us move. I want to see us climb back up that ladder. We went down the ladder.
Mhm,
I want to see us come together as a community to work, to build, and to develop our constituency.
mhm,
And I'm looking forward to each and every one of you coming out on election day to rally behind me with your votes. Vote for the tree. My symbol is the tree. And I'm looking forward to each and every one of you coming out. Speak to your friends, speak to your family, because a lot of us, we all have influence. And I know that everybody here on this live, they have influence to speak to this person, to speak to that person. Use your influence as well. Join me. Be part of my campaign team. Even if in the background, I would truly appreciate all the help and the support that I can get from each and every one of you. And I can tell you that I will not disappoint you. and I will not turn my back on you. Win or lose, I'm going to be there to work with the community and the constituency.
Well, y'all, there you have it. Heather, I want to tell you thank you again for saying yes to having this meaningful conversation with
You are
me.
welcome.
Everybody listening, I want to wish you the best. I really want to encourage you to keep going hard, like Asif says, even if this, whatever the outcome, we pray for the best and the highest for Dominica.
Yes,
Whatever
indeed.
the outcome, we pray for the best and the highest for Dominica. We pray for the best and the highest for Dominica. Okay, and thank you again for coming. I hope you have a wonderful night and all the best on your campaign.
You are most welcome. Thank you. And
You're
thanks for the opportunity.
you're welcome. Y'all, thank you all for showing up. I hope you all have a lovely night. Keep praying for Dominica, all of us. Again, I I'm not always gentle maybe in what I've been saying lately or how I've been saying it, but I think sometimes, when you have a child who's got to wake up to go to school, and it's like they just won't get up out of the bed. And you got to start yelling and screaming and shaking them, for them to get up out of the fond sommeil. I pray we wake up out of the fond sommeil and keep doing this. Like, just think about Dominica first. All of us have eyes to see. We're adults, we're grown folks, we're wise, we're smart. When we love our people. I think we have to think and make some higher level decisions now. Yeah. So thank you all for showing up. Donc, parlez en l'autre fois. Peace.
Peace.